Hey there, hockey fans! Are you ready to learn some cool and interesting facts about the NHL? You may think you know almost everything there is to know about the league, but trust me, there's always something new to discover. In this video, we're going to share with you 10 things you probably didn't know about the NHL. So let's get started. The Stanley Cup is older than the NHL itself. Did you know that the Stanley Cup, which is awarded to the NHL champion each year, was first awarded in 1893, which is 2 years before the NHL was founded? The cup was originally known as the Dominion Hockey Challenge Cup, and it was donated by Lord Stanley of Preston, who was the Governor General of Canada at the time. The NHL officially took over the cup in 1926, and it has been awarded to the league champion ever since. The NHL almost had a team in Hawaii. Believe it or not, there was a serious proposal to bring an NHL team to Hawaii in the 1970s. The plan was to build a new arena in Honolulu and have the team play there. However, the proposal fell through due to logistical and financial challenges. Can you imagine watching a hockey game on the beach in Hawaii? That would be pretty amazing. But it's interesting to think about what could have been. Would the team have been successful? Would we be talking about the Hawaii Islanders in the exact same way we talk about the Montreal Canadiens or the Chicago Blackhawks? While we may never know the answer to those questions, it's clear that the NHL continues to expand and explore new markets. From the Las Vegas Golden Knights to the Seattle Kraken, the league is always looking for new ways to grow and engage with fans. There was once a team called the Seattle Metropolitans. Speaking of expansion teams, did you know that the Seattle Metropolitans were the first American team to win the Stanley Cup? The Metropolitans were part of the Pacific Coast Hockey Association, which was a rival league to the NHL in the early 1900s. They won the Cup in 1917, which was the last year before the NHL took over the competition. The NHL used to have a rule against goalies passing the puck forward. Until 1910, NHL goalies were not allowed to pass the puck forward. They could only pass it to their defensemen or teammates behind the red line. This rule was eventually changed, but it had a big impact on the way the game was played. It forced teams to rely more on their defensemen to move the puck up the ice, which is why defensemen are still considered an important part of the game today. The first NHL All-Star Game was played in 1947. The NHL All-Star Game is an annual tradition that brings together the best players from each conference to play against each other. But did you know that the first All-Star Game was played in 1947? The game was held in Toronto, and it featured a team of NHL All-Stars playing against the Toronto Maple Leafs. The NHL All-Stars won the game 4-3, and the tradition was continued ever since. The longest game in NHL history lasted over 6 hours. In 1936, the Detroit Red Wings and Montreal Maroons played the longest game in NHL history. The game lasted for 116 minutes and 30 seconds of overtime, which is over 6 hours of play. Mud Burneto of the Red Wings scored the winning goal in the sixth overtime period to give Detroit the victory. Can you imagine playing for over 6 hours straight? That takes some serious endurance. This game remains the longest in NHL history, and it's hard to imagine any game surpassing its length or intensity. But it's a testament to the dedication and endurance of the players who push themselves to the limit and beyond in pursuit of victory. While we may never see another 6-hour game, it's the moments like these that make the NHL so special. The league is full of surprises, and you never know what might happen when the puck drops. The NHL once had a team in California called the Seals. The California Golden Seals were a professional ice hockey team that played in the NHL from 1967 to 1976. The team was originally based in Oakland, but it moved to Cleveland in 1976 and became the Cleveland Barons. The Seals had some interesting uniforms featuring a bright gold and green color scheme and a cartoon seal logo. The Seals had a tough go of it in the NHL, struggling to find success on the ice and failing to attract enough fans to the games. Despite this, the games had a dedicated fan base and some memorable players, including Dennis Merrick, who set a team record with 60 goals in the 1979-80 season. Although the Seals may not have been a powerhouse team in the NHL, their legacy lives on in the memories of their fans and the history of the league. And who knows, maybe one day we'll see another NHL team in the Bay Area. The NHL has had 2 goalies score goals. Did you know that only 2 goalies in NHL history have scored a goal during a game? The first goalie to do so was Ron Hextall of the Philadelphia Flyers, who scored a goal against the Boston Bruins in 1987. Hextall actually scored 2 goals during his NHL career, which is a rare feat for any player. The second goalie to score a goal was Martin Brodeur of the New Jersey Devils, who accomplished the feat in 1997 against the Montreal Canadiens. Brodeur is considered one of the best goalies in NHL history, and his goal-scoring abilities only added to his legendary status. It's important to note that goalies are not typically known for their goal-scoring abilities, as their primary role is to stop the other team from scoring. However, the occasional goalie score is a rare and exciting moment in NHL history. There's a tradition of throwing octopuses on the ice in Detroit. Yes, that's correct. One of the most unique and fascinating traditions in the NHL is the Detroit Red Wings tradition of throwing octopuses on the ice during playoff games. This tradition dates back to 1952, when two of the Detroit brothers named Pete and Jerry Cusimano threw an octopus directly onto the ice during a playoff game in order to symbolize the 8 big wins it took to win the ultimate Stanley Cup at the time. The octopus is symbolized as a good luck charm for the Red Wings, and the team went on to win the Stanley Cup that year. Since then, throwing octopi on the ice has become a beloved tradition in Detroit, and fans continue to do so to this day. There are even rules about how to properly throw an octopus onto the ice. Fans are not allowed to throw an octopus onto the ice before or during the game, and the octopus must be cleaned and squeezed of excess water before it is thrown. The octopus must also be thrown onto the ice from the lower bowl and not from the upper deck or other areas of the arena. There's a code among NHL players to protect their teeth. In the NHL, there is a code among players to protect their teeth. Hockey is a fast-paced, physical sport where players are constantly in danger of getting hit by sticks, pucks, and other players. As a result, many players have lost teeth or suffered other serious injuries. To protect themselves, many players wear mouth guards or dental protection. However, there's also an unwritten code among players to avoid hitting each other in the face or aiming for the mouth. This code is based on the idea of respect among players and the understanding that losing teeth or suffering facial injuries can have serious consequences for a player's career. If a player does accidentally hit another player in the face or mouth, it's common for them to immediately apologize and make sure the injured player is okay. In some cases, players may even offer to pay for any dental work needed to fix the damage. In addition to the code of protecting each other's teeth, there's also a long-standing tradition of players going without helmets during fights. While this may seem dangerous, it's actually seen as a way of protecting players' heads from serious injury. Well, there you have it, folks. 10 fun and surprising things you may not have known about the NHL. From the age of the Stanley Cup to the almost team in Hawaii, there's always something new to learn about this exciting league. It's amazing to see how the NHL has transformed over the years, from its humble beginnings to the high-flying, hard-hitting action we see today. And with new rules, players, and teams constantly joining the league, there are sure to be even more surprises in store for us in the future. So if you're a hockey fan, keep exploring and learning about this incredible sport. And if you're new to the game, don't be afraid to jump in and join the fun. Thanks for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more NHL content. And as always, keep your stick on the ice.